All right, let's see how fast I can tell this story because this is a long story. But in October of 2010, I got a settlement, which my mother wanted, which she tried to blackmail me for, which she didn't get. So in March of 2011, she had two of her friends who worked at the sheriff's department arrest me. Like, she made up these charges and she's like, oh my God, my daughter hurt me. Like, you need to have her arrested. By the way, guys, are we playing euchre next week? So I sat in jail for a month. It was 30 days. And I'm scared and I've never been in trouble before. And my mother kept me largely isolated because that's what crazy narcissistic mothers who grew up in churches that were quasi religious cults do. So now, mind you, this settlement was only like $20,000, which is a lot of money, but at the same time, you're going to ruin your daughter's life over that amount of money. Really, really, really. So, the settlement was coming in 3 installments. She did not get the first installment, she did not get the second installment. The last installment, which was the big one, she tries to blackmail me again, and she goes, "You want to go back to jail? You want to go back to jail?" No, I don't want to go back to jail. Okay, then you give me that money. So she ended up with the rest of my settlement money. She also told me that I had to live with her because she used my settlement money as part of a down payment on a house. She told me I had to live with her, even though there was a no contact order, to help pay her mortgage. Well, so one day I'm walking behind her because she had her chair in the middle of the room. It was the weirdest thing. And I see my attorney's name up on her Facebook screen. I'm like, what the hell? What the hell? I'm like, is that my attorney, Erin? And she's like, maybe. And I look at the message before she can shut it down. She's having another legal issue and she's asking him to take care of this one. And no, I did not get screenshots of the message because this was all the way back in 2012 when this happened. And I didn't regularly have a cell phone on me back in those days. But I remember he's like, "Oh yeah, I can help you with that as long as it doesn't involve Krista, because I already did you a favor regarding Krista." Because when I was sitting in jail for 30 days, freaked out of my mind because I had no idea what was happening. I had no idea why I was in jail. I didn't do anything. Uh, Her attorney's like, "Oh, you have to take this plea deal because they've got all this evidence against you." And I said, "Well, how do they have evidence? Because I didn't do anything." He's like, "Well, maybe she manufactured it, but they've got evidence." So, anyway, I go down to the courthouse to look at the papers from the what do you call them? The findings, whatever you call that. And I'm like, "Well, where are the pictures?" And the clerk is like, "What pictures?" I said, "The pictures of the alleged injuries, blah, 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 blah." And she goes, "Read your file." And I look through my file and it says, "There are no documented injuries because there were no injuries." So my attorney had completely lied to me about, "Oh, they have all this evidence. Oh, they have all this evidence." Well, I go down to the probation department and I'm like, "What the hell?" And they're like, "Well, you took a plea deal, so there's nothing that can be done about it. Also, what do you mean you were living with your mother? There's still a no contact order." I'm like, "I was told by her and by an attorney who is speaking on her behalf that it had been lifted." And they're like, "No, it's still in place." And that's when the probation officer drops the bomb on my head. "Krista, the no contact order wasn't for you or wasn't to protect her. It was to protect you from her."